my lovely, beautiful people. I hope you're all having a good day, and let's get right back into it. Load it up, let's go! And that is why, come what may, my promise will always hold firm. I will always be dedicated to you, the people of Brigantia, above all else. The atmosphere in the room is relaxed as Lance finishes up his speech. The soft silence that had been the backdrop of speech breaks apart when we all applaud. It was perfect, Lance. Lance bends down into an elegant bow and smiles at her. Bow. That was bow, not bow. What am I? My brain no comprehend it, you know what I'm saying? Well, I had a good teacher. Emelaigne puts her hand on her chest and smiles sheepishly. But I only just listened. Lance's eyes seem to sparkle when he looks at her. Having someone around who knows how to listen is incredibly valuable. Emelaine's only response is a blushing smile. Oh my god, they're so cute. I ship them. In the end, I found out that Emelaigne offered to listen to Lance's speeches in exchange for his helping her learn that Brigantian dance. Apparently the trade worked. Emelaigne and Lance danced together at the wedding, and I see that Lance has improved his speech by performing it for Emelaigne. Lance put a hand on his hip as he glances at Klaude. Yay or nay? You pass. You didn't look as stiff as a board, and your smile was subdued. At least I know how to memorize my speeches. Klaude waves a hand dismissively at him. Spontaneity is not a bad thing. I'm so sorry. I can't read. We're shit. It just means I know how to improvise. He winks at me. Besides, the set is excellent at memorizing things. We're unstoppable when we give speeches together. Or maybe you can learn to actually sit down and memorize what you need to say. Darling, do you really have so little faith in me? My only response is a too sweet smile. When I turn back to Lance, that smile has become rather gentler. Much gentler. It was a great speech, Lance. I'm sure you'll make your father proud. Thank you, Princess Lisette. Oh! He smiles a little awkwardly. I mean, thank you, Lisette. Lance is having difficulty not using titles for my siblings and I. He is technically my brother-in-law now. Sorry to cut in, but it's almost noon, isn't it? Oh, right. Lance gives another bow and smiles. I'm going to head back to my room and make sure the servants have taken care of my luggage. I'll meet you all at the gates in 10 minutes. He excuses himself before the rest of us can follow after him. Rod's eyes disappearing back with clear suspicion. What is it, Rod? He glances at Emelaigne and shrugs. It's nothing. He sighs as we all leave the dining hall. The palace is bustling at this time of day. Servants walk through the halls carrying utensils in preparation for lunch. Rod and Emelaigne have already gone on ahead of us. Emelaigne seems eager to meet Lance at the gates first, and Rod mentioned that he had some quick errand to run before meeting us. I noticed a few servants heading to the gates with luggage and figured they must be the men Lance was referring to. It'll be strange not to have Lance anymore. Lost in thought, are we? Klaude's voice startles me from my thoughts. I was just thinking that this is the closest I've seen you and Lance since he's visited. Because we're not at each other's throats? I poke his shoulder. Exactly that. It's been nice seeing you two get along. Rivals we may be, but Lance and I are brothers. We always make up. We're close that way. I was beginning to have my doubts, but I'm glad. I smile at him as we continue toward the gates. Emelaigne and Lance are already there when we arrive. The two of them face each other at the carriage doors. You're welcome to visit whenever you like, Emelaigne. I'm sure Father and Mother would love to have you. Oh, I'd love to visit. After all the stories you told me about Brigantia, I can't help but think it must be a magical place. Magical in a different way from Angio? Magical in a different way from Angio. I think you'd enjoy it. He pauses, looking thoughtful for a few moments. I suppose I'd have to introduce you as my sister-in-law's stepsister? Emelaigne laughs. That sounds like a mouthful. Sister will do just fine. Lance's expression seems to crumble to something more sullen. You know, it really is a shame that you're... What's a shame? Rod, who had been hovering by the gates watching the two of them, steps up to the carriage and his eyebrows raised. Oh, it's nothing. Lance smiles softly and says nothing else. Lance pauses to turn to Klaude and me as we approach the carriage. Ah, there you are, Karma, he said. He takes a step forward and clasps Klaude's hands in his. look so cute. Oh my gosh. He shakes his hands with a bright smile. I expect you to listen closely to my speech. I can assure you that people will be praising it all over the world. Claude looks back at him amused. I'll hold you to that standard then, and if anything less happens, I'll be severely disappointed. Don't worry, Karma. I'll make sure that my speeches make yours pale by comparison. And how can my speeches pale by comparison when I'm naturally charismatic? Oh, I think Lucette would be more suited to giving speeches than you. Well, I can't argue with you there. If you challenged me to a speech competition, I would no doubt win. Lucette has an eloquence and wit that little of us possess. And even more impressive, she has the strongest, most competitive heart I've ever seen. And Lance pulls his hand away and holds it up as if to bar Claude from speaking. Yes, I've heard it all before. You've already told me many things about her, days worth, in fact. I can never run out of things to say about my lovely queen. You mean wife. Wife is so underwhelming. If I were to call you anything along those lines, I would much rather say my heart, or maybe my other half, or... I put my fingers to his lips to silence him. If we talk much longer, Lance will never leave. I notice that the carriage has already been prepared. Lance is to ride through the main plaza before heading out the city gates, and back to Garantia. Even the clatter, ever the clatter. I'm sorry, I really feel like my brain just reads too fast sometimes, and I just stumble over the words, so I apologize. Same goes to you. Lance takes a step back towards the carriage doors, but then pauses again to look back at us. I'm looking forward to it, to working with it too. You two, I mean. We may not be seated on thrones now, but once we are, well, I look forward to the competitions. Let us all promise to inspire each other in friendly competition. It's a promise. Claude says the words at the same time I do, though. I can't help but turn away with a scowl when he grins at me. Wait, why is everything related to the crown suddenly a competition? Claude and Lance look at each other with mere confidence. I'll be expecting good things from you, Mama. You too, Karma, and... He turns to me with a gentle smile. Once things settle down and you have the time, please do come and visit Brigantia instead. I know you can never be there for long, but I'm certain everyone would appreciate your presence there very much. All they have right now are rumors of a beautiful and refined crown princess of Angiel. I'll try my best to visit when I can then. Lance turns to Emelaigne and Rod. And Rod? Emelaigne? You're always welcome to visit whenever you'd like, so please do. He takes a step into the carriage and then turns and winks. And do right, I'll be terribly offended if you don't. Of course, his farewells are just as dramatic as his brother's. After we all say our goodbyes, Lance enters the carriage and disappears from sight. The large, elaborate carriage trundles away slowly. Emelaigne and Rod leave first. The two of them engage in some quiet conversation that I cannot hear. Emelaigne looks equal parts thoughtful and sad, while Rod appears almost quizzical. Claude and I stand there for a few moments longer, watching the carriage disappear into the crowded plaza. Even here, people love Prince Lance of Brigantia. Once it is out of sight, Claude turns to me and takes my hand. He plants a kiss on the back of it. Shall we go, my lovely queen? I clasp my hand in his and lean on his shoulder. Yes, let's go, Claude. The two of us walk back toward the plaza together. Oh. The end! Aw, I think this was a good ending. So, yeah, look forward. I will have the best ending up soon. Thank you guys for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Bye.